Okay, so I thought I'd put this in at the start. So basically, I thought to, open up the show and that. Thought I'd be quite cool and do a little spin around and vape. What I didn't realise was that, I'd turn this up to 220 watts and I got the biggest dry hit ever. Yeah, so have a look at my face. Not good. Hello, welcome back to another episode. Welcome. Yeah, so this is Bob Vapes, and today we are talking all about Vape Jam. Yeah, so I went to Vape Jam yesterday. If you don't know what Vape Jam is, so basically it's the first in the calendar year of one of the big expos, basically. So it's where all sort of juice vendors, juice manufacturers, and that they all get together. You get to meet the people, you get to sample new juices, new flavors, everything like that. It's really, really cool, especially if you're like me and you love anything to do with like e-cigs and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I set off first of all in the morning with my friend Terry. Actually Terry, he lives here in Louth, so he drove to me because I live in Peterborough. And then, we met up there. We got in the car and then we headed off out nice and early in the morning. We did a little pit stop because there's not a road trip without a pit stop. Yeah, so we stopped off at Starbucks, got a nice coffee and a sandwich, and then headed off into London. So it was held in the XL Arena in London, and that nice big arena. Very easy to find. It was nice, easy to park. We got there no problems. Yeah, so then we arrived there. I mean, the event started at 10. I think we got there at about 5 past. We parked right outside, walked straight in. As it was on the Friday, it was B2B, business to business day. There's not such a big crowd at that sort of time. So we managed to get straight to the front, queued up no problem, and then got straight in. We had a quick look around at the start, and on first impressions, to be honest, it didn't seem quite as big as I sort of imagined. I mean, I did go to the first Vape Jam. What was that now? Well, this is Vape Jam 4, so I'd imagine 3 years ago. I went to the first one. Obviously I had no expectations then. To me, like in my memory and that, it was quite a big one for the first one. But I had zero expectations, obviously, then. Then I went to, they host one at the NEC Arena in Birmingham. And that one's become absolutely massive. Like, ginormous. And for me, it's just too big. When I went to the last expo, I could not find everything that I wanted to see that day. You'd have had to have spent all 3 days and maybe section it off, each section on each day, to make sure that you got round and see everything you wanted to see. So yeah, when we first walked in there and that, I guess maybe I had that sort of expectation of vastness when I first walked in, and it wasn't quite that. It was I'd say maybe half of what an expo is. Someone might correct me on that, but that's how it seemed anyway. We walked in, you're greeted by some lovely ladies as you walked in, your little promo gals, got the little bag and that as you walk in. We sort of had a quick scope about just to get a feel of the place. We could see though that, being a B2B and being one of the first there, it was very, very empty. So we thought, what, let's go and find the sort of chill out area. Go sit down, think about how we would, sort of combat the day basically, and that, and go and grab a drink quickly. So yeah, first of all, sat down, had a little drink, had a chat, let the sort of crowds just start building up. I say crowds, it wasn't, it was never really a crowded day, but yeah, so, see the place start filling up basically. Well, we sat there as well. It was quite strange. I see a guy opposite me, and I'm like, wait a minute, he's got a Bruise Bros jumper on. Now, obviously I stock Bruise Bros. They're a local company to me. They're just manufactured around the corner, if you don't know, in Manby. And that they're still a relatively new company, so they're growing and growing. So, it was quite strange actually seeing someone there with the Bruise Bros jumper. And I was like, you got Bruise Bros jumper on? And he's like, yeah, you're Rob, ain't you? Well, yeah, so he so happens to run their Facebook group. Matthew Callis, his name. Really nice guy. So, yeah, we ended up chatting with him. So that was quite strange. Like instantly, as soon as we walk in, you end up seeing someone that, recognise you or knows you and that. So, yeah, that was quite cool. And then he ended up following us. Sorry, he wasn't following us. We invited him to, spend the day with us, basically. Sorry, Matthew, for watching this. You was not following us. You come along with us for the day, basically. So yeah, what we thought was, actually we were at the opposite end, so we thought, we'll start that end, and then we'll do like a little zigzag, through the venue, basically. So hope in the hope that we won't miss any little gems along the way. So we started off, that end. We see signature mods that were that end, right at the far end. If you don't know what signature mods are, they make some beautiful like little signature tips, which are your little drip tips. So stuff like this on the end here. They make some really nice ones out of like acrylic and all that lot. If you want to match your drip tip to your mod or anything like that, then they're the sort of go-to guys, really. They also do a squonk box mod. That is what we call a bottom feed. It's a bottom feed-in mod. I won't go into too much detail, but yeah, it's a squonk mod. If you watch this, you'll more than likely know what that is anyway. We walked past a couple of tobacco run venues as well. Blue, and there was the Heat Not Burn one there that causes a little bit of vape drama, and that I won't go into any of that. I'm not sure on it still. I mean, the Heat Not Burn, yeah, I'm not particularly fond of that. Blue, okay, it's a big tobacco company that are trying to get into the market. Maybe that could be a good thing. They might be sort of, residing to the fact that that's the way the market's going to go. So that, will entice more people to start vaping. Once you do, the little blue cig, you might be more inclined to go into the shops and that, and then try out something better, because there is better than blue. So yeah, I'm unsure on it at the moment, but all we can say is that tobacco is scared at the moment, that's for sure. So yeah, the first place we went to was a little Polish place. So basically what I like to do is I quite like the smaller guys in these sort of venues. You tend to meet one-on-one with the creators, and obviously because they're quite new, or they're just breaking into, say, like the English market or the UK market, they're a little bit more sort of hands-on with it all and that. So yeah, we've come across this company here called Nick Vape. Had a little look, quite like their branding. Their branding looked quite cool. I mean, the first lot looked a little bit like the Bruise Bros label, just in terms of it was, a little bit more grown up. I quite like that. Tried a couple of their flavours. They were, actually really nice. And then I tried this one. It was a creamy cranberry cake. Oh my God. Absolutely beautiful. Loved it. So yeah, I was really intrigued. Got talking to the guy. My partner's Polish, so whenever I hear of someone say they're Polish and I try to, be all smart and be like, hey, cześć, jak tam, dobrze, all that sort of stuff. And then, realise that, they're never impressed. No, they're just like, okay, mate, whatever. They speak English. But yeah, anyway. So yeah, I was talking to them. I tried a few more of their juices. There was like a tea one, which was really, really nice as well. Yeah, I'm very interested in it, so I will be contacting them. I'm going to try and stock their juices, and that will show you a little bit more, go through more of like their flavour profiles and that if I do get them in. So stay tuned on that, because yeah, definitely interested in them for sure. And then I went round the corner and I met a guy, an Italian guy, and he was doing a lot of tobacco juices. I was quite interested because one of them, and it was saying infused with Jack Daniels. And I was like, okay, I quite like Jack Daniels. So I started speaking to this guy, this Italian guy, and yeah, he was some character. He was quite funny. He was all hands and gestures, and he was so passionate about like his product. It was really, giving it his all. You're talking about, I think he uses like a quarter of a bottle of actual Jack Daniels per huge batch that he does for this certain juice. And he also had this tobacco, a cigarette type juice where he uses like the leaves and stuff like that to get like the true authentic taste. It's these guys here. So if you went to the Vape Jam and that, and you spoke to them, you'll probably know what I'm talking about. But the first one that he showed us, he was like, right, this one here is, this was our first juice, the first juice that really sort of got us going and everything like that. We tried it. And what I'll say is, and that I haven't had a cigarette now for around about, it's coming up for about 4 years now that I haven't had a cigarette. I felt like I had one. Like when I had that vape, it was weird. Like it was so accurate. It just brought me back. It was just like, whoa, that's a cigarette. It was crazy. Terry, who I was with as well, he literally tried it. Just like, that's the Benson and Hedges. That's what I've had. It was just like it. I mean, we do one here. It's Cedar Reserve, the American Red. We sell a lot of that. We sell a lot of that for good reason, because it's a very accurate, cigarette flavour. It's really, really nice. A lot of people just keep on coming back for that. That one, wow, it was crazy. It was mental. I'm not sure on the pricing though. I mean, he did keep on talking about like how he had to make it, and like, all the what he had to use for each batch and things like this. He did mention like, the cost of doing this, the cost of doing that. I can't remember exactly what he was saying, because I was in between vendors, everything like that, a lot of things going on. So I can't quite remember the exact pricing of that, but if I remember rightly, it will probably be quite a pricey juice. So, I'm not sure, if it was too pricey and that. I mean, granted, it was an absolutely accurate juice, but are you going to pay an absolutely, ridiculous fortune for an e-liquid? Probably not. So we'll go, we'll wait and see about that. Another one of the ones that stood out for me, is a smaller, sort of company and that. He was in this little booth talking to the guy. I'll hide the top bit there because it was his contact details. But Dodo, yes, I liked the branding. So already, I'm a sucker for branding. And that, if it looks really nice and that, I'm already sort of, moving towards it. And yeah, he had 4 unusual flavours there at the time. So he just come across a really nice guy. He was very passionate about his e-liquids and everything like that. And, hold on. Well, that was stopped there by a customer. Anyway, so yeah, where was I? I was on the Dodo. So yeah, Dodo, as I said, really nice guy. And yeah, I mean, his juices, they were really nice. They were different. I mean, there was a wine with a mixed berry that stood out, and his coconut as well. I mean, I've had a couple of coconuts before. I know the Obi's brew, they've got the cocoa granola. That's got a slight coconut on the XL. This Dodo was a little bit more, the cocoa was a little bit more prominent in it. And yeah, that was really, really nice. Different flavours. Again, I love companies that do something just slightly different. Think outside the box ever so slightly, instead of, let's release a strawberry milkshake and let's release a mango. That's so safe. And yeah, okay, sometimes they get it right. Bruise Bros on their strawberry milkshake, when I first got told that they had the strawberry milkshake, I was like, okay, you've done another strawberry milkshake, but no, okay, sometimes every now and then a company gets it right. And yeah, so then you can go, okay, fair enough, you've brought out a strawberry milkshake, but that's a good strawberry milkshake. Let me just have a look through these, see if I remember anyone else that stood out here. Mona's Pantry, I mean, they've been going for a while. They're from Red Juice, a company called Red Juice, and that they're a couple of young lads that were serving me on there, and that, and I'd heard a bit about them, especially from this guy, Grimm Green. I remember him going to one of the Vape Jams before, and he was talking about their pink lemonade, and he was like, oh my god, it's amazing pink lemonade. And yeah, it was a really, really good pink lemonade, but their cloudy lemonade for me as well. Oh my god, cloudy lemonade was beautiful. And then their strawberry milk, again, strawberry milk, but this one, it just tasted different. I don't know what they added to it. It tasted different. That was really, really good as well. It stood out for me anyway. So, and yeah, I mean, if it's a basic flavour and it stands out, then they must be good. Six Licks, they're making it big at the moment, aren't they? They seem to be popping up everywhere. And that, I tried their liquids. Okay, yeah, they're all right. They were safe. They played it safe. They're blackcurrant aniseed. That was probably the one that stood out. That was quite good. I did like that one, and that. I think the way they get it and that is their marketing. Their brand, their Six Licks and everything, and that, I think a lot of people are going for that. It looks quite cool on a t-shirt or on a hat or on a jumper or something like that. So I think that's the way that they tend to be, going or making it big and that. I'm not sure if I'm going to stock it and that, because it's I mean, the flavours were okay. I mean, I'll try and go for something that stands out. My e-liquids, another juice vendor that stood out for me. The guy, very enthusiastic again about his product. Funny guy, seemed very cool. What I liked about them, the juices were good, which is always a good start. It was a very nice line, very fruity. But what I liked was they're concentrating on the 25mm shortfills. So things like our Peak, things like that. Okay, so I believe that's where most of the market will be going in the next couple of years. Well, actually, I say couple of years, and that couple of years is like 20 years in every other industry. At least for the foreseeable future, I think a lot of companies are going to start going 25mm. Reason being is because, it's okay if you absolutely love this flavour. I mean, some people do find a flavour they absolutely love, and that's why they want to vape. That's when a big 100ml bottle comes in handy, because you're going to go through that. And with 25ml bottles, well, I mean, you can mix and match. So if you like a few different flavours and that's where it's ideal as well. And a lot of people don't like, spending say 20 quid on one flavour, and they're either unsure about it or they can't vape it all the time. I think that's where the 25mls are really going to, come into their own. Yeah, it's like, I mean, we sell 25ml shortfills at the moment for $6.50. So, it's not nowhere near as much money to fork out if you're just wanting to try a different flavour or anything like that. And again, I am repeating myself here, but you can mix and match them, so you can have your fruits and your creams or anything like that. So another juice vendor that stood out for me was, not juice vendor, a stall that stood out for me actually was Vaporizzo. The reason being in that is, first of all, they had M Turk there. If you don't know who M Turk is, follow him on his Instagram and on M Turk. He's a very cool guy, and he's a absolutely amazing coil builder. And he's also got two juices in, actually, called Turkish Blend and Turkish Maize, I believe. I think I'm getting that right. I tried the Turkish Blend. Really, really nice juice. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be looking at stocking that in some point in the future and that. But yeah, so really cool guy. I got my picture with him. So if I can edit this properly, anytime I talk about people, I will try and plonk in a picture so you know who I'm talking about as well, and just in visually. And they had Pro Green, yeah, Mr. Professor Green there. If you're in the UK and that, you'll know who he is. He was quite a big rap star really a few years back. Made some quite a few hit singles. Some club bangers actually as well. He was there. He's got a new juice line called Unruly. His mint and chocolate one actually was really, really nice. I know he told me to try that. I got a picture with him, shook his hand and everything, and that. Very down to earth. Had time for everyone. Some people in that, when they've had this sort of celebrity status or anything like that, sometimes people can be a little bit like, oh, can I have a picture? Yeah, take the picture, and then it's like they move on, and sort of that's it. That they're done with you. He wasn't. He stood there. He had a little chat with me. He told me why he got into vaping. He did tell me in that he moved in with, I think it was the owner of Vaporizzo, if I remember rightly. He's an owner of a juice line or Vaporizzo, somewhere like that. He moved in with him, and obviously he was a big vapor, and Pro Green was just like, I prefer the real thing. But obviously he converted him, and now he's brought out his own juice line, and he says he vapes every day now, and loves it. So yeah, really cool guy. And yeah, if you are going to see him at all this weekend, don't be worried about going and getting a selfie with him. He was happy to do it. I mean, I don't know what you'll be like maybe on the Sunday evening after maybe like 6,000 people taking a selfie. That might be a different matter. I was one of the on the first day, so maybe you've got to take that into consideration. And yeah, when I was going back to M-Turk, he is a good friend of this guy here, Mr. Grimm Green. If you don't already know, Grimm Green, I'm a big fanboy of his. I have his t-shirt, I have his hat, I have his RDA. I watch all of his vlogs. I watch all of his vlogs to the end. And if you watch Grimm Green, he always says near the end, if you watch my vlogs all the way to the end, you're my favourite people, and I owe you a hug or a crisp high five when I see you. And so yeah, I asked them where's Grimm Green? Where's Grimm Green? I was looking for him all the time, and he's like, I don't know, man. He should be here. Like, if you hang about like near here at some point, he'll be here. So obviously I weren't just going to wait around, that little area. And I did want to see other vendors and other juice companies and that. So we did have another walk around, looking about and stuff like that. And then yeah, all of a sudden I see I see Kent with his bright red hair, like coming down one of the aisles and that. He was the one that stood out first. So Kent as well, Twisted Messes. If you know Twisted Messes RDAs and everything like that, yeah, well he's Mr. Twisted Messes, Kent, and he's a very good friend of Grimm Green as well. So I knew once I see Kent, I was going to see Grimm, and yes, he was next to him. Sort of stopped him in their tracks, asked him for a photo, told him, that he's really cool and everything like that. And then it got to a moment and that where we all sort of stood there, and it was just like I'd sort of told him and that I watch it, his vlogs to the end. We got the hug and everything like that. He was really nice guy. Everything, they all were anyway. But yeah, really nice guys and everything. But it was like about a minute in, and we all sort of stood there. It was just like, and I could feel that awkwardness starting to creep in. So it was just like, well, I guess you got to go and see Turk then, have you? And it's just like, yeah, man, cool, yeah, nice meeting you. So I sort of saved it getting any more uncomfortable there. Because yeah, I mean, what else do you say to them after, you know, you just say, yeah, you know, cheers for what you do and everything. I was absolutely gutted that I didn't take this hat. I took this, you know, I had this on the side ready to go in the morning and that, and I'm like, I'm going to take it. I was going to get him to sign underneath here. I left. I mean, I didn't realise until about half hour into my journey that I left it at home on the table. So yeah, I was gutted about that, but yeah, it's no biggie. I mean, at the end of the day, I got to see him and I got some pictures with him and that. So yeah, that was still very cool. Anything else that stood out? I mean, you know, it was all mainly juices and that. I mean, everyone says that. Every, you know, YouTuber that's vape related, when they go to these events, they always sort of, you know, turn around and say, well, these expos, they are like 70% juice, and they are pretty much all juice. And most of them are very, very similar. They, you know, and some of them have got questionable branding. Some of them have got very cool branding. There was one, I'll try and put the picture in now, because I don't have their business card, but I'm pretty sure. I mean, they've got my details, so I'm hoping they send me, like, you know, their details and that, so I can get in contact with them, because they had this one. It was an aloe vera one. I mean, aloe vera in a juice. It sounded disgusting, but I was like, got to try it. It's different. Got to try. It was amazing. I absolutely loved it. I mean, for me, out of everything in the whole like show, that was it. That aloe vera for me was like my favourite juice by far. It was amazing. I'm looking at the list here of vendors and that, just see if anyone stands out, in case you're wondering what I'm looking at. So we talked about them. Inniken, they had their little stand up, just showcasing their stuff. I stock a lot of Inniken stuff, really like them. I tend to find them very reliable. Yeah, they're decent quality, Inniken. And they had I haven't got the leaflet on me at the moment, but they had they got the new Proton coming out. Oh, I believe I'm saying that correctly. So that's their new sort of high-powered dual 18650 box mod. What got me interested in it is, one, it's Inniken, so it's going to be well made, and two, it actually looks pretty cool. I mean, for Inniken and that, it actually looks, I think, really smart. And then when I got to hold it one of the ladies, one of the representatives and that, she had one. And the startup screen and that, you know, it looked very sort of mobile phone-esque. I'm a gadget freak and everything like that. So that really sort of appealed to me. I'm like, ooh, smart. So that's going to be my next mod. And it's going to be something that I'll be stocking. And I know that their tank that they've got on it, the Scion. Oh my God, I could be butchering all these names here. But yeah, I believe it's the Scion, the tank that comes with it. That will be coming with mesh coil heads as well. I'm yet to try mesh coil heads, but I'm hearing a lot of good noise coming from mesh coil heads. So yeah, I believe that Mr. Grimm Green had a Freemax with the mesh coil heads as well, and he was been banging on about it. So I'm quite interested. I mean, I'm definitely going to be stocking the mesh coil heads. You know, I'm hearing that, you know, the ramp up obviously is instant on them because they're mesh, but you know, they wick really well and they seem to last a very long time. I have a lot of problems here with coil heads, with no matter what company it is. You know, they're just, it's cute. China QC, they just pump out, and they're pumping out like new coils and new tanks all the time. So every now and then you'll get one. I mean, I still hold true the Clito 120. I tend to find that for me, in the few years of, you know, being in this industry, that for me has always come out on top for the sub-ohm tank. Other people disagree. Other people say they get better out of other coil heads and that. I'm only going by what, you know, I experienced. You had the basic ones there as well. I mean, Smoan had a very small stand. Then you had Vupu there, and I see Tony B. So he's another guy I see. And again, very nice guy. I mean, you know, he stood there, chatted to me about 5-10 minutes. He talked to me about YouTube, he said, you know, just keep doing it, keep doing what you believe in, keep, you know, throwing out some content and that. And he goes, and people will start following you. So, you know, I've got 54 followers so far, and I've, you know, with very little content. So, you know, as I said before, I'm, you know, very much appreciated. So, yeah, I mean, Tony B just basically said, keep, you know, releasing that content. Hope, you know, and hopefully you're seeing I'm feeling a bit more confident now in front of the camera. You know, so hopefully that, you know, comes across better. My editing will get better, things like that. But yeah, he was a really cool guy, and I did actually mention to him as well. I said, have you seen Vupu? So if you don't know about it, there's a lot of vape drama going on with Vupu, Tony and Tony B. Just go on his channel, and now he talks all about it. And he was just like, yeah, he's seen him and that, and he just didn't realise until he was actually walking past him, and he was like, oh God, and then sort of carried on and that. But yeah, so if you're interested in that, check out Tony B and that. He'll talk about the drama with that. Is there anything else? Nothing else, to be honest, that really stood out. You had your standards there, you had your nasty juice. Everyone knows what nasty juice tastes like. You had 12 Monkeys there, you know, Illusion Vape as well. They brought out a new one that was quite nice. Again, I mean, it was just, you know, it's one of them where you pick it up and you go, yeah, that's quite nice. For me anyway, taste is subjective, so I do need to think about that as well. I mean, sometimes in that, I sort of, when looking to bring in new products or anything, I have my customer head on, when, you know, clearly I shouldn't have. You know, taste is very subjective. You know, so sometimes in that I need to look outside the box. What's working really, you know, in the masses and that, you know, I guess is a good thing. You know, is a good juice because it seems to be working. Didn't see Vapresso. I didn't go to their stand. VGod. Yeah, so I went over to VGod, had a quick look at their stand and that, and see what it was stocking. They didn't have anything new. Everything they had there and that, I think we've all seen before. The one guy I sort of had a chat with and that, I was like, no, you doing show this weekend? Are you having like a big vape trick show? And he was talking about, they haven't brought the tent. They needed a tent, and the air in the room wasn't right for doing all the really cool fancy vape tricks. So I said, can you just try and do a couple and that, and I'll stick it on the video. So yeah, I'll try and put that in now if I can. I'm hoping that these all go up, and I'm not massacring this editing and that. So yeah, he did a few O's and that for me. He was a pretty cool guy. I don't think there was doing a show. He said in that again, like with the air and stuff like that. And that's really about it. Yes, just some really nice people there. I think the smaller, the sort of like the vendor and that, the more sort of involved you get with them, because, you know, obviously in that they're trying, you know, to get their name out early on. You're normally speaking to the creator as well. You know, they're not just sort of hid behind a lot of their sales staff and everything. I mean, which is, you know, all well and good. You know, like Dinner Ladies and that. You know, they are where they are now. They're huge. They're everywhere. I don't stock them because of that fact. So I'm trying to be a little bit different. I mean, yes, I do stock some things that are everywhere, granted. But I don't try and stock everything that's everywhere. I try and be a little bit different from time to time. But yeah, you know, so obviously in that, you know, when you go to their stalls, you're just talking to the Dinner ladies. You're talking to a salesman or anything like that. When I go to these events, I quite like to, you know, have a chat with a creator and that. I find that so much more interesting, you know, speaking to someone who's just, it's their product, you know, they're just bringing it out and they love it and they're, you know, really selling it to you and everything like that. Because, you know, I love that passion in someone. I'm new to this. I'm very new to this industry, new to the YouTube, new to it all. And, you know, I'm very passionate about it. And I hope that will come across to you guys as well. So, yeah, I don't believe I've missed anything else out. Ruby, sorry. Ruby. How can I forget you? So Ruby, yeah, as well. I mean, about 5 minutes after I met Grimm, I met Ruby as well. So yeah, I'll put that in there. I'm very sorry, Ruby. I'm just a massive Grimm Green fan. So yeah, I'm still, like, you know, like a little kid when it comes to meeting your the people that you really like. Cut all that out. Don't think so. That is it. So yeah, I hope you found that interesting. If you are going and that, as I say, you know, don't be worried about giving Mr. Professor Green, getting in to give you a selfie or anything like that. How did you find the video? Did you think, am I coming across a bit more natural now? I feel like I am. There will be a lot more content coming up soon. I'm looking at maybe doing something a little bit different. There's something in the works at the moment. I'm doing I'm trialing out a few things, writing down a few notes on some new directions, some funny clips and that basically. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled on that. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like, comment. All that will go down brilliantly for me. It will help me out no end. Thank you to everyone that already has. And yeah, till next time. Bye bye.